Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a good one. So there is a ton that could have gone into why crypto took a dive. Okay, and a major dive. And we'll get into the numbers later on. But first, let's get into Gary Gensler. Wow, did you hear what he said yesterday? He said basically that exchanges, crypto exchanges, are not qualified custodians of digital assets. And I don't know if you were paying attention, but just the week prior and maybe a couple of weeks prior to that, he's been quietly saying and getting louder and louder with his opinion that things are going to move toward banks, regular banks. Why? Because they are more accustomed to having to do the correct kind of filings and registrations and everything else. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, but exchanges domiciled in the United States all have to jump through regulatory hoops. So that brings me to a question, Gary. Do you not know how to do your job? Are you saying that the job that you're doing to police some of these exchanges is not a good one? Because you're saying that they're not good at, handling custody. I don't know. Should you be laying out some guardrails as to what they should be doing and should not be doing? Yeah, yeah. But I will say that goes into the bucket of negative news that could have helped the Bitcoin and altcoin space drop yesterday. There's another huge one, and we'll get into that in a minute. But Representative Patrick McHenry and Senator Lummis co-authored a letter sent over to the Federal Reserve and other U.S. agencies questioning staff accounting rule number 121 that was issued by the SEC last year. That rule, they say, hampers the safe custody of digital assets. Are you paying attention to what Gary said yesterday and what they're saying about this? So when I look at this, I kind of sit there and I go, yeah, Gary's got issues. He might be being protected by certain politicians now, but there are a lot of politicians that are saying he's got to go. And that voice and that noise is getting louder. And you have companies like Coinbase starting Crypto 365 to help educate those that are not involved in crypto, to help, pressure legislators to think more pragmatically about the legislation that they put forward regulating crypto. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in that space. The idea that MicroStrategy has limited exposure to Silvergate, right, is interesting as long as what they say is true. All right, they have a $250 million loan from MicroStrategy. I mean, from the bank, Silvergate Bank. The other issue is that they say that it is collateralized. It is a collateralized loan. However, the collateral is not held by the bank. If that's true, then they're fine. They really are fine, and what you're hearing about is just FUD, because their loan is not due until 2025. First quarter, but still 2025. That's more than a year away. That's almost 2 years away. Now, take a step back. Well, it is 2 years away, sorry, because we said Q1. Now, when you look at everything that's going on, you have Gemini, Crypto.com, and Coinbase each pulling back from Silvergate. Why? Because they do not want any more exposure by their customers to Silvergate, meaning, transfers, anything like that. They do not want their clients' money being held up in anything that could happen in Silvergate. Now, take that, all of that gorgeous news, and then layer on top of that, Coinbase was down yesterday. Maybe not down, but severely degraded service. Now, they do have a maintenance window that comes up, as a matter of fact, tomorrow, which is my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, baby. I love you. Anyway, the idea that the market is not going to look at all of this and kind of go, small problem here. Just keep listening. There's more that goes into negative news that could have affected the markets yesterday. You have Riot Platforms, a major Bitcoin miner, coming out and saying that their accounting firm noticed some issues with their impairment calculations. Going on further to say that Riot Platforms says their 2020, 2021, and 2022 taxes have material errors and should not be relied upon. So for 3 years, you screwed up your taxes. Yeah, that's not going to bode well, and I expect their stock to definitely tank some more. Now, again, adding just another feather on the back of that camel that kind of broke crypto yesterday. Ethereum Shanghai release is definitely going to be delayed until April. It happens. I'd rather them delay because they found something and are going to fix it than release it and have something break while it's in the wild. So, good move. To me, that's actually good news. I'm not happy about the delay, but I'm also not really bothered by the delay. But it still drops into that, as small as that drop is, still drops into that bucket of negative news yesterday. Now, the big one. The big one is Mt. Gox is supposed to start paying out on March 8th. They gave a choice as to whether or not you want to get paid in Bitcoin or if you want to get paid in cash. Now, it's highly possible that they could have dropped a couple of $100 million so that they could cover those that want to be paid in cash. And that would definitely, have an effect on the market. There have been other players that have been, dumping to see if they could bring the market down. So that's happened. So you take all of that and you put it together, and what do you have? You've got close to a perfect storm that can cause the market to go down. Now, I told you for the past little while, I've been telling you, if we can't maintain above 23,417, then we are going to take a hit and we're going to go down. And we did. But what did I also say? I also said that I will be putting more in when that happens. And why? Because all of those things put together are not material enough to actually have a negative impact on the actual infrastructure of the crypto space. Let that wash over you for a minute. What am I really saying? What I'm saying is I still believe in the technology. I still believe in the use cases. And frankly, I just think that this is a good time for me to be buying. So that's what I'm going to do. That's a part of my DCA strategy. I have a regular schedule on what I buy, what I buy, how I buy, and how much I spend on those purchases. But I also take a step back and I kind of contemplate, well, part of that money should be set aside so that we can be able to act on events like this, right? An event like this is a good event. So I'm going to take some of that stash, some of that dry powder that I have, in addition to my normal DCA, and buy more. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should go over the numbers. Now, I know you might be expecting my normal charts, and I didn't bring those up. And yesterday, it was the worst because I tried to bring everything up all at the same time, and my stream crashed. So we're not going to do that again. I'm going to make sure going forward that I have everything open that I want to use. Unfortunately, I did not open my normal top 25 winners and losers charts. So I owe you one. Sorry about that. But I will say the Fear and Greed Index is still at 50. And that is still a good thing because that means we're in a neutral zone. To me, if you're in a neutral zone and above, you've got stored energy. And this is what we're talking about. I believe that stored energy is going to keep coming. Remember, we still have a lot of things that we're going to be talking about in the very, very, very near future. You've got Polygon coming out with something, coming out with their ZK EVM upgrade. You've got Cardano coming out with their stuff. So you've got a lot going on that can really help the space. So sorry about that. I wasn't showing the actual Fear and Greed Index, but here it is. There's the 50 on the Fear and Greed Index. Something else that I'm paying attention to. Total value locked, staking. There you go, 66 billion right now. Not a huge drop now, is it? I had another one up that was showing that Ethereum is over 42,000 or over 40,000 in burn rate. I think it was like 41 and change or something like that. That's huge. That's huge because that means that there's more Ethereum being burned than is being created. That makes Ethereum deflationary, and those numbers are going to eventually go up. That's nothing to laugh at. Now, this is what I was talking about. So if you look at where we were, you look at my little blue line, follow my hashtags right here, or hashtags, my crosshairs right here. You can actually see we took a major drop. I think we had gone all the way down to like 22 something or something like that. So you sit there and you look at that and you kind of go, wow, that's a big fall from 23,417. Exactly. So we're going to have to fight to get back up. However, when I see something going up, down, 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 stay there for a little bit, and then shot up, I'm expecting it to shoot up again. And I'm expecting that Bitcoin could possibly do what happened this time and shoot up past that previous high, which means that the next rise could actually wind up taking us above and maintaining above that 25,210 number that I keep hinting at. After that, you have a 2828 number. But we'll get to that in a while because I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Yeah, I messed up right there. Almost messed up my chart. So you have that. If you want to look at the big picture, there you are. Bitcoin at 2369, Ethereum at 1568. Before you start freaking out, just remember that it was a few months ago where Ethereum was less than $1,000, where Bitcoin was in the 15s. So before you start freaking out, let's pay attention to everything that's going on, okay? So when I look at it, when I had this discussion with my kids, I said, listen, to me, this is just another buying opportunity. You shouldn't be freaking out and buying, panic buying. You shouldn't be freaking out and panic selling. You should have a strategy in place that already says, I have a DCA strategy, short term, meaning not short term, but for short runs, right? And then I have a larger DCA strategy where I've got dry powder so that I can buy in when I think there's a major dip that is not correlated to a single event. That's my strategy. So we don't have a single event like FTX going out, Celsius, Voyager, all that other good stuff. What we have are a lot of smaller factors that are playing into what is a pretty nice drop. Is it a devastating drop? No. So don't believe the FUD. All right. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. If you have any questions, do me a favor, shoot me a note. Let me do the research because I like to learn. And I'll share it, whether it's good or bad. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.